Very exciting, Rachel.
And we're live. Wait a minute for it to populate. Can you see the comments?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move that out. We can bring them up on screen. It's all very professional on StreamYard.
I've never used this. This is super.
It's cool, isn't it? So first of all, how are you? Are you ready for Black Friday?
Yes, indeed. It was interesting last night because some members of the group were starting to pose a question: will you be doing a Black Friday sale? So
I saw.
We did indeed leak it last night, and everyone's very happy that they can stock up on their Pure Energy downloads on this wonderful Black Friday.
For sure. So I think I was going to ask you, first of all, how, because most people don't know how an album comes together. So when you're choosing a concept or choosing the right producer, how do you make it all happen? What goes on behind the scenes?
We're in a very fortunate position at Pure Energy that Pure Energy is part of the Music Factory Entertainment Group, which also its sister label is the Tidy Tracks label. So for 25, 30 years, beyond the fitness stuff, we've been producing commercial dance music, club music. So we have a whole army of incredible musicians, producers and DJs. So when we launched Pure Energy Go, we've reached out to a broad selection of producers and started thinking about the kind of productions we'd need for Pure Energy Go. So like the Cardio House albums, we've gone for producers like Sam Townend. We've got Paul Chambers, who's really, really versatile. So we've got young producers who are doing like the drum and bass side of things. So we really do think about who will be most suitable to get that sound. And I think the real nice balance is because we're working with the likes of yourself, Joe, Kerry, we've got so many great presenters and instructors that understand how we need to structure the disciplines, marrying that expertise up with our production expertise is the blend that's really working, I think.
I agree. And I mean, the most common question that we all get asked across all of our groups is, what's legal to play on your social media and what is legal to play on your Zoom, and what license do you need, what don't you need? Can you just give us a quick bullet point of what you need for what to just go through? Yeah,
it's a complicated landscape, and I see lots of misinformation on social media. The simple thing that people need to get their heads around is that if you are playing music in a professional capacity to enhance your product, and your product in this case is a group exercise class, unfortunately you have to pay for that. And I think we're all accustomed to the fact that we have to pay PPL for the performance. So if I'm the artist, I've recorded that recording, PPL collects royalties and pays them to me because you've used it in your class, and that's your I think that's your £1.65 plus VAT. And then there's the songwriter element, which is your PRS. So we're all familiar with that in the physical space. When we then go online, it gets a little bit more complicated because you are still using copyrighted music. So you still do have to pay your PPL element. And if you want to cover your PRS element online, this is where your LOML license comes in, your limited online music license. So it's quite complicated. Then add to the mix that regardless of any licensing, if you play music that is known on Facebook broadly, it will get muted. So that's why we launched Pure Energy Go, because all our rights are included. I hate the term license free. Yeah. It sounds a bit rubbish. Yeah. Oh God, I've got to use license free. It's probably not very good. But as I said at the start of this broadcast, the guys that are producing the music for Pure Energy are producing it commercially. So the thing that the safe bet is, if you want to play music online, use Pure Energy Go because all the rights are included, and we've chosen not to release any of it other than to our instructors. So when Facebook hears our music, they go, we don't know this. We don't know that it's copyrighted. So you get left alone. So that's your best bet. But if you do want to play original artists, and don't forget, Pure Energy releases license free, or rights included, PPL free with our Pure Energy Plus range. And we also do the original artist stuff as well, but we have majored on the license free. So if you want belt and braces as an instructor, that you know that you're going to be safe, if you want to play original artist music, go onto Zoom or a communication platform. And from a legal perspective, you need that Lamel license, and you should also be accounting to PPL for the music you're playing. If you don't want to pay the PPL element, then you can use PPL free, our Pure Energy Plus. But what's really, really encouraging is there's over 2,000 instructors now who've joined us on Go and who are using our music. And what's lovely to see when I wander around the channels of social media on Facebook into other instructor groups, I see loads of our instructors recommending Pure Energy Go and going, do you know what? I'll use this in my physical classes as well. So it's quite a complex landscape. But the first thing people, I think, as instructors broadly, we get it, that you are using other people's music. So you've kind of got to pay for it.
I think another good question that comes up, and we both see it a lot, is everybody wants a piece of music that people recognize, that their class want to sing along to, enjoy, and that's part of the Group X experience. So creating a license-free album that has got a sort of a 70s vibe or an 80s vibe, or you kind of think you know it, but it's not a cover. And I think if you want to talk us through how we speak to the producers and how we get the producers to create the cardio disco range that has been probably one of the most popular ranges that we've put together so far. So if you want to explain a little bit about the thought process behind those remixes, that would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, as a music producer, I've been producing music since 1986. I know I don't look old enough, Rachel. I know what you're thinking. But as music producers, as artists, musicians, you're generally influenced and you lean on something. The Beatles lent on Chuck Berry and all kinds of stuff. So when you look at any music, is generally influenced by other music. Lady Gaga influenced by Madonna. She's quite openly said that. So from us, our perspective, when we're making music for fitness, let's take the 90s house party. So we briefed Rob Tessera and Ian Bland, who he works with, and said, Rob, a lot of us are of an age, and we enjoy that sound of the 90s, but clearly we can't use Baby D, and we can't use all those big hits. But what the guys did, and if you know your music when you're listening to 90s house party, you will kind of get a feel for where that track's come from. So within that mix, one of the tracks the guys probably had on the deck, because I could hear it, was Night Train by K-Doc. Now, so as a producer, and when I produce with Amadeus, who's our creative director as the Tidy Boys, when we go in the studio, we have a record. We used to have a piece of vinyl on the deck, and we'd listen to it and we'd dissect it. And so we've done the same thing with Pure Energy Go, whether it's the cardio discos or whether it's the 90s house. I've sent the producers a track listing of the kind of vibe. So with the disco, Paul Chambers and Nick Wilde produced it. So I put together a track listing of the kind of disco vibes that I was looking, so the feel. And so because Paul's such a brilliant musician, he's able to take the chord structures and just give you the feel, but move it so it's not infringing copyright. So that's how our producers work. And because Rob Tessera, for example, he produced 90s stuff, and Paul Chambers used to produce back in the day, in the 90s, they know the sounds. So that's what we do. We're not just randomly going into the studio and just making some music for fitness. We're really thinking about the vibe and the tone and the intensity. And I think there's an interesting balance here from an instructor perspective, because don't forget, I was with you back in 1992 when we launched. So although I've never been a fitness instructor, I've been a participant and been behind the scenes for many years. There's that balance of, you don't necessarily want music that's overpowered with vocal, because you as the instructor are the vocalist and you need to lead your class. So we have the benefit now when we're producing for Pure Energy Go to get the vibe and the feel and the intensity, but maybe not overpower it with too much vocal. So you've got room to breathe.
Got it. But a question, see what you think to this one. So somebody said the venue Lozzie used to teach at is no longer carrying a PPL license. Can that individual, can she have her own license, or does it the venue that has to be licensed to play what? How does that work?
Generally, if you are in a venue, it's the PRS element that the venue generally carries. So any venue has to have, so if you go to the hairdressers and they're playing radio, they have to have a PRS license. So if you are a gym, you have to have a PRS license, pretty much, unless the gym is playing absolutely no copyrighted music. As an instructor, if you walk into that venue and given the PRS element is covered, then you are absolutely fine to play copyrighted music, but you would need to account for your class as a PPL member. So yeah, you're more than free to go into that venue that doesn't have a PPL license. They may have paid your PPL element before, but as long as you account for that, you're absolutely fine. So, and with PPL, you have to forward project the classes that you're going to do, but then you can retrospectively look back on that. So as long as you account for the fact that you've done 5 classes that week and you've used original artist music, and you account for your £1.65 plus VAT per class, that's how it works. So whether you're in a village hall or whether you're playing at Nuffield Health venue, either you or the venue has to account to PPL, but that absolutely can be you.
Okay, let's talk about the Mind Body range, because that's been one of our most popular ranges as well. So we've gone in 2 directions with the Mind Body Chill, which is very relaxed meditation style Mind Body, and then we've got Mind Body Beats that has a subtle beat going through, and we've taken all sorts of different inspirations, or the producers have. That is one of our strongest categories. Where do you see that going? How much more mind body style music, or do you think there is on that we can come up with, Andy? Because this is such a big category for us. Where do you think it can go?
Yeah, it is a big category, and I'm conscious that if you are a very active instructor delivering lots of classes, and particularly online now, that you've got to keep mixing it up. Look, the production of music and writing music is endless, the variations, and what we're trying to do with Mind Body is give you themes. The biggest sellers have been the Balearic Beats one, the Trip to Ibiza. I've just been hearing some of the tracks that have just coming out of the studios now. We're doing a Goa Mind Body beat, so we're looking thematically just to keep mixing it up. I've just heard again the next Mind Body Chill that Paul Chambers has produced. If you remember, Mind Body Chill 3 was very piano led. We've taken that, but we've moved it to the right a little bit, and we said to Paul, just soften it. So the piano was the lead last time, but for some maybe a little bit too heavy, so it's gone more pads. So we're looking at really breaking the Mind Body catalog down, because it's such a big genre, and this is why we need feedback from our members and our customers to say, okay, yeah, I teach this kind of style. So if wherever you can give us a bit of an influence and a reference point, that's really helpful. So we'll continue with the chill, meditation, relaxation side of things. My wife's a meditation teacher herself, so I have her ear to lean on. But also just looking thematically then at where we can just keep moving the mind-body elements as well. So I think it's endless, but also I think what might be helpful for our instructors is to give you those themes like the Balearic, where you've got maybe a little marketing hook for your class. Because I don't want Pure Energy just to do is just give you the music, and that's why we have, and I see Gary Daniels has joined us on the chat. This is why we have a whole range of presenters that we work with that can maybe give us ideas for class content, and we've got a great marketing team here, and we can give you sort of different hooks that you can dress your class up, like we did with Halloween and we've done with Christmas Hit. but we want to give you ideas and inspiration for how to market your classes as well, be that around Mind Body Beats.
Everybody wants to know where you get your pyramid looking acoustic tiles.
I'll show you.
Oh, there a minute. You do look very music producer here with that room with all the records in the back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Going back to what I said earlier, Pure Energy is, we're not just fitness folk. We are first and foremost a music company. We're a record label. We run Tidy Tracks. This is what we do. We make music. It just so happens that we also have a fitness company that we've had since 1992. So where you join me today, we're in our Leeds HQ where the studios are. And if I just lift this up, this is where Rob Tessera was DJing recently. So the tiles, yeah, they're acoustic tiles. I'll find out. I don't know where we got them from, but we've treated the entire room. And once we get lockdown out of the way, or tier 3 or tier 2, wherever it's moved to now, we're going to be doing lots of podcasts here. So me and Rachel will be here together doing stuff. So yeah, it's quite it's a great facility. And one of the things that we want to do moving forward is really raise the quality of the masterclasses that we can do in the broadcast. We've got a really big idea for Christmas that we're working on with Rachel. You're going to come up here and do some filming with us. So yes, you join me in the Pure Energy Media studio where we do the lives from, which is quite funky. But I can find out where those tiles are from.
Jim, I think everyone's wanting to know. Black Friday sale then. So last minute, you weren't going to do it, and then you decided late last night we're going to do a Black Friday sale. So what's everyone been buying so far? What has been the popular? What's been flying out so far? I mean, it's only been going 2-3 hours, but let me know.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? With the Black Friday, we're really conscious that, and I was having this conversation with Lisa, my wife, the other day, that there is a chain of events here. So, not everybody is in the same boat in this terrible situation we're in. And so whether it's from a class participant, funds are tight, instructors, everyone's having to deliver online, and there's only so much you can charge for a class. And even though a download might be $12.99, it's still $12.99, and if you're buying a few every month, it soon stacks up. So like we did with National Fitness Day, we thought long and hard about Black Friday. And I'm not a big fan of Black Friday, if I'm honest with you, but this was a kind of just a bit of a give back to our members. We've crossed the 2,000 instructor customer mark with Pure Energy Go. So we chatted about it and we thought, you know what, actually, let's do that. It's always a bit of a challenge. And I saw some comments last night on our Facebook group that said, oh God, I just bought some this week. And it's always that thing. And that it frustrates me from a customer experience perspective, that I don't want to hack people off by going, aha, here was a Black Friday sale, but I'm sorry that you bought your stuff on Tuesday. So we did keep Hit 10 and the Christmas one out of it, because we're conscious that people have gone and bought those earlier in the week. Although what we have done, we've put a new release out today, Warm Up Cool Down, which is in the Black Friday sale as well. So in answer to your question, what's flying out of the door, pretty much a mix of everything. I saw one lady came on and spent £175 this morning on downloads. She filled her boots, which was fantastic. But I think here's the thing. I think take some time to go and dig back, because quite often you come to the Go site and you might just go with what you see. But if you dig back into some of those early releases, like Cardio Dance 1 and 2, brilliant releases. So I think take some time and browse around. Some of my favorites, some little recommendations. Cardio Disco 2, I think, is a phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Everyone has to have that mix. Everyone.
One that you might just look past is Street 2. You might go, I don't teach Street, so I'm not even going to look. Forget the title Street, because the vibe of that album would work for bar, it'd work for conditioning. The BPMs are around about 115, between that 110, 120, but the vibe is fantastic. And I always find this is a little bit of a balance between, because when it's brand new music that we're making, there's a challenge between calling something House as a Feeling or calling it step 30.
Yeah.
So there's an element of, I teach step, ergo I'll go and do that. So some folk need a bit of help in understanding what to use. But some recommendations for me would be, go have a listen to Street 2. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Big Beat Conditioning.
Yeah.
What a great album that is.
Yeah.
Again, maybe sometimes undiscovered. And another little secret gem, if you want to just get a different vibe going, is Go Beats. That's a great sort of world music. It's got a bit of a Latin influence in there. It's a bit clubby. So you've got, there's a bit of everything selling. And we'll come on and maybe chat about it in a second. We are about to release single tracks as well, so you can start making your own playlists and pull your own albums together. But looking at the traffic on the site this morning, folk are really jumping in there, and I just, I really love, and we've just changed the name to the Pure Energy Fitness Music rather than Pure Energy Music Zone, but that group of people are fabulous. I do wander into other fitness Facebook groups. I have to run away. It gets a bit harsh. It gets a bit harsh in some areas, but I think one of the best things I like about the group is when somebody comes into the group and says, can anybody recommend a great album for bar? And a whole bunch of you will jump on and go, try this. So I think that's great. So it's looking very positive. We are going to run this over the weekend, so you've got plenty of time to stock up on your downloads. I think we're about 80 different albums now, Rachel.
Yes, I know. 80 since March. It's unbelievable.
It's bonkers.
Quite a few questions on the single track. So this is, again, something that we've been discussing. We know that there's a lot of instructors that do prepare to plug and play, pick their own track. They might have a bit of Latin, they might have big beat, they might have some mind body, all different. How do you see this all coming together? How will it be delivered on the site? What's your thoughts going forward on that?
If I just take you back, so when we started Pure Energy Go, we'd done license-free music previously, but it was kind of an afterthought because there wasn't a huge demand for it. The focus was always on original artist music. So when we got into this situation, when the first lockdown came about, I reacted quickly because I heard a phone call from a Zumba teacher saying, help, please, there's no music. So very quickly we deployed Produce and we did Latin salsa. And the idea there was just make a continuous mix. But then I said, look, because the mixes weren't quite as long as we wanted them to be, because we were moving so fast, I said to the guys, look, put the tracks in there as well. So when you bought the album, you could also get the tracks. And so you could download those onto your laptop. As things progressed, it became apparent that lots of instructors needed shorter tracks, kind of performance tracks, if you will. So as we've progressed now, we've extended the mixes, and we've now probably got, I think, approaching 500 individual brand new tracks that we've recorded since March. So we've deployed the producers over the past month to go back and edit every track down. I think you've been using a few this week, actually.
Yeah.
To edit the tracks down to around the sort of 5-minute mark and looking at the structure of those tracks. So what's going to happen, and some of you guys are currently beta testing the new app, which enables you to create your own playlist and then drag in the individual tracks from the albums. So a couple of things are going to happen here. You will be able to access the tracks that you've bought previously and create your own playlists on the app, and you'll be able to go to the Pure Energy Go website anytime soon and just buy individual tracks. So we're going to deploy upwards of 500 tracks re-edited. So whether you're teaching dance aerobics, whether you're doing spin, whether you're doing strength and conditioning, because we appreciate not everybody teaches to a continuous mix. I've done body pump myself, I do CrossFit, my wife was a spinning instructor. I get the need for this. So I think it'll be a bit of a game changer, Rachel.
I do.
We deploy the individual tracks, so you can do your thing. You can choose a track from this album, that album, or you can just build your own playlist. And as I say, the app is currently being beta tested now. where I can go in and go, Andy's spin class, name it, put a bit of artwork there, and I can then go and search all the Pure catalog and go, oh, I love that track from Houses of Feeling, click, join, I'll have that. I'm going to add a track from Cardio Disco 2, build your playlist. So that is coming before Christmas. We're now also deploying the producers to make a lot of music for strength and conditioning. So that half beat, down tempo, sort of 80 beats a minute stuff. So there's been a bit of chat on the group about, the body pump teachers. We need some music online where we can do what we're doing. So all that is coming. I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it just opens up so much more creativity for us as instructors. And I think it really is enabling the instructors to create amazing experiences online for their clients. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, everybody's very
Tim Hill there, actually, because Tim, I've been liaising with Tim on he's been, because what's great is a lot of you guys will just message me and Rachel and are just massively helpful. And Tim's been hugely helpful, who teaches body pump. Say, look, here's the kind of stuff that works for us. Going back to what I said earlier, when we're producing this stuff, it helps to have the reference track. So on things like spin, Shona's been great. She's been talking to me. So we've got a whole great community of folk there. So I just wanted to acknowledge the support you guys give us in helping us create the music for yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope the individual tracks are kept long enough. They're all 5.5 to 6 minutes, Lozzie, and DJ friendly because I mix my own sets together. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, we're going to we will keep innovating with the technology. We're talking about, I've got a few conversations going for potential partnerships with technology companies. So I know for the future, your ability to create your own playlist, tick, we can do that. But also for you to mix your own programs, so you can create a playlist and the whole thing mixes together. They're things that we will innovate and they'll come. So we're only just beginning with this next stage of the journey. So absolutely, that stuff will come. Yeah,
absolutely. Cool. Well, if anybody wants to jump on the Black Friday sale offer, the code is BF50.
Yeah, you are infamous in getting this wrong, Rachel, by the way. We do give you codes quite regularly for your masterclasses. And Alison will say to me, Rachel's got the code wrong again. But no, in this case, Rachel, 10 out of 10, it is B.
Did I get it right?
It's quite straightforward. Black Friday, and you get 50% off everything. And by the way, although they're not at the forefront of the site, if you do want original artist music or you do want PPL free, if you go to the bottom of the site where there's a link section, you will find links to the PPL free and the original artist. We do that because we don't want to confuse people, and it's easy to confuse people when we are predominantly delivering license free on the Go site. But the 50% does cover all music, so you will find it if you just go down to the bottom of the site.
Fabulous. Cool. And if anybody has any questions or needs any recommendations, just tag Andy or myself in the group or post. We do check the group all day, every day. And we love to hear from you. We love to know what you're using, what you're buying, and how it's going down, don't we?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question, Rachel. Sure. So you are fundamental in steering the output of the music for us. And we thank you for that. And we bombard Rachel constantly, so she has to listen to everything and she's steering it. So if I said to you, look, what are your 3 or 5 favorite releases from Go? It's like a desert island disc, desert island aerobics, let me call it desert island aerobics. You're on the island, Rachel. You've got your kit and caboodle, you've got your mat, you've got your weights to do whatever discipline you want. I'll even give you a spinning bike if you fancy that.
Okay.
What's your 5 releases that you take into Desert Island?
Okay, it's got to be Mind Body Beats 4. That's
nice. Cool.
Mind Body Beats 4 is just phenomenal. Closely followed by Hit 9. I think that's fabulous. Mix, Hit 9's awesome. One of the Rob Tesseras. I don't know which one, probably.
I'm going to have to put you on that, I'm afraid.
I think I'm going to go with House Party. The second one. Oh, everyone's going in. Cardio Disco 2. It's got to be in there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming what, like Gary's just saying, Go Pizza House. It is awesome. I do use that a lot. I do like, I do go back to some of the old Cardio House. 2, 3, and 4 are all phenomenal.
Yep.
Hard to pick one of those. Oh gosh, what are you going to nail me on that? One more. What would I say then is the one that I play the most?
What you go to?
I think it's got to be Rod Sarah at the moment, but it changes. I play them all to death every class for about 2 weeks, and then I'm on to the next one and play that one to death the next one. Yeah, I think Fusion. I think the Fusion range are well. There's a beautiful one with vocals, which is our Mind Body Fusion one, which is beautiful as well. That's a really lovely, lovely, lovely track. So yeah, I think they would be my 5. My 5.
Good recommendations. Julie asks a very interesting, relevant question, and it's a battle that we have. So Julie says, "Is there any chance of releasing 60s style license-free music, living the 80s disco?" Yes and no, in the respect that, and a few people have been asking for Christmas music. Can you create some license-free Christmas music? And I've said it's really difficult to reinvent Christmas, because even in the world of original artists, to create a new Christmas record, it's very difficult because everyone's got their go-to Christmas tunes. So there's some styles of music that are easier to recreate than others. We've done well with the 280s, and by the way, I think they are if you want, you want to capture that vibe. Those 280s albums are really, really, really strong. I've been having this conversation with our producers, like, can we produce a 60s style thing? The problem with the 60s particularly, and the 50s, is they're very vocal dependent, because the 60s was all about sing-along, Beatles, etc. So, and we've had this with rock. We tried to create a rock one, but without having lead vocals on there. And the challenge when we're creating brand new music is, if we are getting new vocalists in and writing full songs, it's really time consuming and very, very expensive to do. So it's how we strike a balance if we're creating 60s stuff. So we could certainly get a Motown vibe going there, but the vocals is where it becomes a bit of a challenge. So we will keep innovating, and we appreciate that you guys not everybody wants clubby music or salsa or big beat or whatever it is. So we will keep innovating, going down the disco route, and we will endeavor to try and get a bit of a 60s vibe. But it's just that there's a line you cross where it starts to sound rubbish. And what I don't like is releasing rubbish, and I see it all the time, and it, it is true in a lot of instances that license-free music can sound like lift music if you're not careful. And like with the rock stuff, we've demoed 2 tracks, and we were listening to them again this week. As music producers and record label people, there's a line where you go, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So I think that's the battle that we face, is can we credibly release music which we've retained the rights, that represents an era, without it just sounding too throwaway and rubbish. But Julie, we will persist with it. Maybe I might have to use you as our creative director on this to go, you're on the money, or that's terrible.
Cool, it's good. Go Beats House. Any more questions? Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to add?
The thing, and I'd welcome people's feedback on this. We've now, as I say, I think by Christmas, and we've got some nice, exciting new projects coming out in December. By Christmas, we'll have upwards of 100 new albums, which are total license-free albums. I'm toying with now a different kind of approach to go, which is that sort of maybe a Netflix style affair. And I'd be interested, because we always ask our members and our customers what you want. And so some people will just be happy to buy what they need when they want it. But if you're a high user of music, if we created a situation via our app where you could access the entire catalogue whenever you want, I'd really be interested to get some feedback from people with regards to whether that would be for them. And it's the trick is then where you price this. And I'd put a little caveat on that in the respect that we're all used to playing for Spotify, Apple Music, Netflix, and it's all in that sort of, $9.99, $14.99. But that's very consumer focused. We have to appreciate that with music for fitness, with sync rights included, this is a professional service. And so it's where you pitch that service price wise that is worthwhile doing for us, but from an instructor, it's value for money. So we're going to start thinking and innovating into the new year. But any thoughts and feedback people have got on a different kind of approach and maybe a more music service rather than just buying it when you need it, that's where my head's at the minute, Rachel.
Brilliant. Alan says, what would you recommend for walking, power walking? I think any of the cardio house are brilliant. Any of the cardio disco, the 80s, also, Alan, would be fabulous. If you're doing an interval style sort of walking session, any of the HIIT, we've got 10 HIIT releases now. All of them have got minimum 4 protocols on, so lots of different intervals that you could do. So yeah, massive amount of music that we could recommend, Alan, for that. Martin said his favourites are Cardio Dance 1, yes, Go 80s, Cardio Energy 2, My Body Chill 3, and My Body Fusion 2. Nice mix, Martin.
Just on HIIT, actually, with the advent of the new playlists on the app and where we're heading with the site, we're going to create a bit of a HIIT factory, as in you will take all the various protocols from all the HIITs and you can go make your own HIIT. So you're not then restricted to playing HIIT 9 or HIIT 7 or whatever it may be. You can go, I want that accumulator, I want that tabata, I want that 50-10. So you can then start mixing and matching the HIIT. So that's coming as well to give you more flexibility and more freedom.
Oh, okay. Hi, Morris. There's a question from Morris.
We love Morris.
We do love Morris.
Very, very supportive on the group.
Do you want to answer Morris's question, Andy?
So will there be more licensing in the new year? Yeah. Pure Energy, first and foremost, was about licensed music. That's what we do. Clearly this year, because most of you have not been able to teach in the physical space, we pulled back from the licensed music. We released a fair few. I think in July, Rachel, we released 4. But the sales were pretty low because a lot of instructors are still not teaching, and if you are, you're teaching online, and if you play house rockers online, you will get muted because it's copyrighted music. So the Pure Energy service that was in 2019, the Pure Energy service that's morphing through 2020 will become very different in 2021, and it will be a blended offer. And so absolutely, we are ready, and we're already working in the background on this, be releasing some fabulous new original artist titles. We've raised the game, and I implore you, good word, implore, like it, encourage you, I think it's the same word, to go and have a listen to our Pure Energy Plus range, which is the PPL free, because again, a lot of PPL free stuff was kind of bad cover versions if you're not careful. It was quite typical. What we did with the PPL free stuff is we went to our super cool remix guys and said, look, take these acapellas, vocals that we own as Pure Energy Music Factory, and go remix them. And so you'll have a nice blended offer of great new original artists that you know and love, and we'll be reimagining that. You'll have a strong catalogue of PPL free, which is very credible. But now, and I hope we've proved this throughout 2020, you've got a vast catalogue of music that we control the rights on, and we're saying to you, go use it. No PPL, no PRS, because the way it works for a record company is we assign our rights to PPL and our rights as songwriters to PRS, and we say if anybody plays that music in a restaurant, a hairdresser's, a gym, or anywhere where there are customers, go get some money for us, please. We don't do that with regards to Pure Energy Go. The rights are included in what we do. So hopefully we've proved now that there is a really viable alternative, even when you're teaching in the physical space, that you can blend your timetable and save yourself money. we're dealing with some of the big operators at the moment. And when you look at a timetable of classes, and even yourself as an instructor who's maybe delivering quite a lot of classes throughout a month, if you blend your offer with your music now and go, do you know what? My mind body classes, Pure Energy Go, mind body beats and chill, it absolutely delivers for me. That cardio disco series is working for me. And if you just blend your offer and maybe a third of your class timetable is original artist, imagine the saving that you make. With the big operators, we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds of saving by not introducing bad second-rate music, but just getting creative. So yes, Maurice, moving forward, fear not, there will be a strong blend of original artist, PPL free, and Go will absolutely be front and center to what we're doing. So yeah, fear not, there will be a blend.
Thank you, Maurice, and we do appreciate your feedback, so please do keep coming in on the group. So Claire's now said, I'll just jump in with Gemma's. She's not going to renew a PPL license when we go back to the community, as license free and PPL free are just so awesome. And that's always been our goal, hasn't it, really, that you don't need to buy any other music or buy any other licenses. This is...
Yeah, I think part of this for me was managing people's perception. And that's why you've kind of got to use the phrase, but I hate the phrase license free, because
something else.
It's the roller cola, isn't it? You know, it's like you want Coca-Cola, but I don't want to pay the price, so I'll have roller cola. It doesn't taste as good. This is different, what we're doing with Pure Energy Go. And so the term I'd use is our rights are included, but I understand when instructors are searching online and looking, they're looking for royalty free or license free, which is effectively, you know, the same thing. So the big challenge was to manage people's perception. And what, as I said earlier, what's brilliant is we are getting comments like that from Gemma and on the group where instructors are saying, do you know what? My class participants are saying, what is this music? I love it. And so you don't have to be playing this music because you've got to and it's rubbish. It's because you want to, and it's great. And actually, and I wrote a blog about this recently, as an instructor, you are a professional. You are making a professional commercial decision about the music you use. And you know what? If your class participants are going, this is great, you're saving yourself money. So it's a commercial decision as well as a creative decision. And if you really think about it, I get that if you're teaching particular classes, there is maybe a sing-along element needed for certain classes. But if I'm doing HIT and I'm sweat pouring off me, I just want the vibe and the motivation. And when you listen to the hits that we're doing, do you really need original artist music in your HIT classes? You know, so I think a blended offer is the way forward potentially.
Yeah, agreed. Claire says, and she has a start at 135 and then pitch up. So you want to pitch it up, Claire, using the app, or do you want us to create a curve that starts off at 135 and goes up to 145? I think that's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say, as a music producer, first and foremost, with you aerobics instructors, it's a nightmare because there's not a huge amount of music made. Well, hard houses and trance, and we're a hard house record label with Tidy Tracks, but house music is not produced at 145 beats a minute. It's produced at 125, 130. So there's a real balance to be struck. And so the cardio energy range, they're your go-to releases if you want 140 to 150. But our producers, I have to gently ease them into this, because if music's produced at 125, pitching it up to 140, it sounds dreadful. So we want to facilitate your need by creating music for you, rather than trying to pitch music up that shouldn't really sound like that. It's a constant battle.
The producers don't like it, guys. When I'll say
they don't like it.
Hate it. They really hate it. Yeah, I'm with you though, Claire. Yeah, I understand Sally's saying, yeah, it is nice. You do love the stuff, and it is just nice to pepper it with perhaps tracks that bring back memories and people can sing along to. Yeah, I totally understand that. I think we all do. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it's just a balance that, you know, we can't create royalty-free, license-free music that is known sing along. We can create new music that's got catchy vocals in it. And I'd like to think that, like the cardio disco 2 and 3 particularly, play them a few times, you'll be singing along.
You do definitely sing along. 100%. Cool. Good. Any other questions? Loving the app.
Yeah, the app's been beaten now. So and the challenge with the app, and we're doing a lot of work on this in the background, because there are so many devices and so many operating systems, getting an app that works across everything, older devices, it's so difficult because operating systems don't support certain things. And so you'd think it'd be really straightforward. Create a music player, pitch change, and it's simple things like when your phone goes into sleep mode, as an instructor, you don't want it stopping, but there are certain mechanics within different phones and operating systems that won't let us override it. So we're having this constant battle, iOS, Android, different versions of iPhones, to make sure we get a really robust app. So bear with us, we're working on it constantly.
We are working on it constantly. Yeah, I think you're right, Michelle. Members don't actually realize. I totally agree. It's just is very catchy. That's good to know that your members think that as well. Really do. Oh, Claire said I don't know the technical side. Oh, glad. I hope that's helped then, Claire. Whoop. So good. Anything else you want to cover?
No, I'd just say that your feedback, your involvement is critical. This is a two-way street. So we can make the music, distribute music, but you guys are using the music. So it's really, really important that you just keep feeding back in the Pure Energy Fitness Music group to let us know, what it is that you want. And we'll be honest with you and I hope I am honest on the group where certain requests come in, and I'll tell you, I will say it's really difficult for us to produce that. And I'll go back to that point of quality. So we will only release quality. But yeah, your feedback is really, really important. And I'm genuinely excited about the year ahead for us to just keep working with you guys and creating great music. And I'll keep leaning on that. I'd like, because first and foremost, I'm a record company guy. And so what we're doing is creating new music for you to discover. And it's like that Rob Tessera 90s House Party album. I'm a DJ, this is what I do. But you guys, and only you guys, are getting this music exclusively. So think about it, that you are discovering new music through Pure Energy Go. You're not just getting license-free music. This is your record label, and we're producing music for you to discover. And it excites me.
Good question from Tim. If there's a catchy riff in a song, for example, the soft cell tainted love noise, is that classed as a license thing?
No. So, and here's the beauty. So again, take the 90s albums that we've done. We've done 3. Rob did the most recent one, but I think our biggest selling album of all time thus far is Cardio 90s 2. So Lee, who produced that, because all our guys are kind of my age, somewhere either side of 50. I'm 51 myself, but a lot of our guys are 40 to 50 years old. So back in the day, we had all those keyboards. So we know how to make that sound on that keyboard. Maybe it was a soft cell riff or it was a Depeche Mode riff. So like with the 90s stuff, we can recreate those sounds because our engineers and producers were making those records back in the day. So in answer to your question, Tim, you can take the sound of a riff and you can reinterpret it. So you can change the key, move the notes far enough away that you kind of go, that feels like soft cell tainted love. It's because so there's no copyright in a sound. If you sampled the sound directly off the record and put it on your new record, then that's copyright infringement. But if you go to that Korg DSS1 keyboard and it was that sound with that filter and you played a new riff, but it took you right back there, that's absolutely fine. And that's what we do. So we'll take a sound and a riff, move it, and take you back to that particular period. And Paul Chambers, who does a lot of our disco stuff, he is the funk master. To get that earth, wind and fire, strings and brass sound. And here's the beauty for us as producers now. The way we produce music now, there's lots of licensed sample packs. So we can use legitimate samples and vocals in our productions that give us that sound.
Yeah.
A little insight through there.
And the producers love to see your videos with you using their music. So whenever you've got any clips, please pop them in the group, put them on your social media so we can see them, because the producers love to see what you're doing to their music. So that's cool. Yeah, good. Thanks, Ali. Yeah, it definitely gets into your head, that one. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're here all day. We'll be around and online. So any questions, comments, feedback, ideas that you have, definitely feed it into the group. Tag myself or Andy. And yeah, if you need any recommendations with the Black Friday, which again, I'll get it right, is BF50. Yeah, awesome. All right then. Thanks, Andy. It's been a great chat.
Yeah, we will surface again later on this evening with maybe a chilled glass of something, and have a Pure Energy social.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Pure Energy social at 8:30. So we'll see you then. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Great.
Bye. Thanks, Andy.